What is up, YouTube? My name is Evan, and I just wanted to bring you a really quick build. I used this to win a league challenge last weekend at my local. It was Zoroark, Lycanroc. It's pretty straightforward. I didn't have a specific list, so I just threw one together really quickly. I think it worked pretty well. And obviously, the first part you want in so many Zoroark decks these days is you just want that 4-4 line, because Zoroark is all about setting up that consistency and exploiting that draw power on Zoroark. And it doesn't matter that you may get extras later, because once you've got a couple of Zoroarks set up, you can always discard those extra pieces. So no problem running that 4-4. Lycanrocs, we're running 2, because this guy's all about right timing, not necessarily about getting like numbers of them up. We've got 3 Rockruffs, so we can Acerola around and like set up really quickly again there. I opted for 1 Baby Buzz so we can exploit that Sledgehammer turn nicely. For some reason, people don't always seem to expect that you might be packing that, which is kind of strange, but they'll still gladly put you to 4 prizes early game, even with something like their own Zoroark, and you can easily one-shot them back with that. So that was pretty cool. MVP on so many lists, no exception here, is Macargo. I'm running a 1-1 line of this guy, and this guy really came in clutch, put in a lot of work. I definitely wouldn't have won if he wasn't in there. I probably would have gone like 2-1 instead. So just so good, so synergistic with Zoroark. Can't praise that enough. I'm running 1 Tapu Koko just for that nice free retreat pivot. Pretty useful because our retreats in this deck are a little on the painful side. And last, we're running 2 Tapu Leles for that nice supporter searching. And that's the Pokemon lineup right there. Moving on to our supporters, we're running still Quad Cynthia. Just so good. We're running 2 Lilies. It goes pretty well with Macargo, and we can empty our hand out pretty well despite running Zoroark. So it's a good draw supporter to have there. We got 2 Kukuis for that boosted damage, especially with things like Devoured Field, Choice Band, stuff like that. We can pick up some surprise one-hit KOs here. So it's definitely a useful card. Came in pretty useful as well. We got 1 Judge. This can be good for scrambling our opponent's hand at crucial junctures, of course. We got 1 Apricorn Maker, a nice early game supporter there. We got 2 Acerolas. This is just so good, obviously, for picking up Lycanroc, but it can also do things like Rescue Zoroark and stuff like that, because their HP is pretty high and they don't often get one-shotted. We're also packing 3 Guzma. I thought about 4, but I've playtested this a bit, and with 4, honestly, sometimes they just kind of jammed up in my hand, and I don't need the ability to get my opponent's back row mounts quite as much when I've got access to Lycanroc. So that's why we're opting for 3 instead of 4. It worked pretty well for me. That's all I'm going to say on that one. And as far as items go, we're running 4 Ultra Balls because it's just so useful. It really doesn't even need to be talked about, really. We got 4 Nest Balls to make sure we get that nice early setup. Try to get into 2 Zoroarks as quickly as possible. We've got 1 Great Ball, a nice Apricorn Maker target there. We got 2 Choice Bands because we should be recalling our big mons. They're going to be carrying it, so we don't want them to be... we don't need more than the 2, really, and obviously in the Buzzgarb Shrine matchup, that card can be really dead weight, and we don't want to run a bunch just to discard them to Zoroarks when we could be running something a little more universally useful. We're packing 2 weakness policies because fighting is quite a thing in the meta right now, and Zoroark getting hit for super effective damage by a lot of fighting types means a one-shot KO. Obviously not good for you, and with the low counts of field blowers out there, low to none in so many decks, this card pretty darn good at keeping Zoroark in the game. We've got 2 Devoured Fields just for that extra 10 that can be very useful for Zoroark hitting numbers like, say, 130. So it's definitely good to pack, and it can also counter Stadium. We got 1 Pal Pad because it's such a useful card. I'm sold on that card. Definitely, the more I play this format, the more I'm such a fan of Pal Pad. We got 1 Rescue Stretcher. Shuffle back in, an early knocked out Macargo or whatever you need to do. 1 Field Blower, of course. I like opting for that 1 Field Blower. You don't have to run it, but I feel like it's pretty darn useful, especially since people don't seem to be expecting it as much. But obviously it gets rid of annoying stadiums like Shrine, but can pick off your opponent's choice bands and stuff like that to minimize their damage, and sometimes they can struggle to find them again. So pretty useful, and obviously it's very easy to play out and set up things like Lily. Energy-wise, it's a very straightforward energy lineup. I just ran the 4 rainbows, so we can just power up anything very simply. And then we've got our 4 DCEs. Zoroark is kind of our main attacker, obviously, and you only need just the 1 specifically fighting energy for Lycanroc, and the rainbow is so much more flexible. So you can make arguments for running the fighting energies, and that's cool. This is just what I decided to opt for, and never really backfired on me. I also liked running the 4 because it helped set up Acerola just a little bit better. Helped me guarantee I could pick it up if I needed to, even if it had never been in the active position. So that's the deck. Like I said, I went 3-0, did pretty well. I played Duskmane Necrozma. I played a kind of a Zoroark Buzzwole, big Buzzwole thing, and I also played Malamar and went through all of them pretty cleanly. The last matchup was a little rough, but not too bad, and we pulled through because, like I say, Makarga Zoroark is just so good. But anyway, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and keep watching the channel for more competitive content.